The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, Michigan conservation officers in District 3 monitor elk hunters during both the early and late seasons.
You're acting like I'm a stupid lying little kid, and I'm not.
Listen.
I know I'm in trouble. I'm pissed off because I got caught feeding frickin'
Just listen for a second.
And an organization dedicated to passing along the heritage to young people and veterans assists a blind hunter in obtaining a highly coveted Michigan bear tag.
It's just heartwarming how many generous people there are out there.
Wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. It's extremely tough to get an elk tag in Michigan. Most years, around 10,000 people apply for roughly 250 tags. As a result, elk hunters are closely monitored by both the state's DNR as well as the general public. It's a hunt that is unique to this part of Michigan.
It's a pretty tight area. You know, Montmorency County is pretty much the hub for all the elk, and there's a lot over in Otsego County and Sheboygan, some up in Presque Isle. But it is a very pretty specific part of the state that they're in, and people come from all over to view them. You know, you'll be in the middle of nowhere and there's very fancy cars driving around. They come up from downstate and out of state just trying to look at the elk. And it is a pretty cool thing that we get to deal with up here.
Most years, the state conducts an early season elk hunt in the fall and a late season hunt that starts in December. The final hunting days of the early season are usually in early October. In the state's District 3, Conservation Officer Dan Listenfeldt is checking a successful elk hunter.
Morning. Congratulations. Very cool. Nice. How many were there altogether?
3. 2 bulls.
2 bulls and
2 bulls and
just one shot?
2.
2 shots? Okay.
2 shots.
Did you hit it twice?
Yes. As we were sneaking back here, we could hear them mewing and stuff, and we noticed that they were mewing heading towards these hills, which is away from the field. So we hurried up to an opening and peeked around the corner. We could see a big bull and heard some mewing in these woods, and my lovely friend Jeff made some calls and they came back out and I saw the cow, so made the shot.
Later in the day, CO Listenfeldt encounters another successful hunter.
He started coming, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let him walk right up into my lap. And at about 6 yards, kind of got his head behind the tree, and as soon as he did, I pulled up and walked around the tree, popped his head around his eye. So I hammered him, he spun around, took off, and I'm like, I know I just blitzed him, but I racked another one in and put one in his hind end, and he just flopped. Great experience. Not the biggest bull that we've seen, but an absolute trophy for the hunt. Just an absolute awesome time.
Since the last part of the early elk season takes place during the first few days of October, it is happening at the same time as the archery deer season. Michigan conservation officers are usually very busy during deer season, and having elk hunters to monitor at the same time just increases the number of calls to which COs will likely need to respond. The night before checking these successful elk hunters, Officer Listenfeldt headed to an adjacent county to respond to a report where a caller said they heard a gunshot from the woods behind their house. CO Listenfeldt is joined by Officer John Shepard.
There's a blind right there. It's like right down there. I don't want to watch the shooting lane. All right, let's go back in from back here. There's a blind right there, and we're looking right at it, and I don't want to walk in it. Hello, conservation officer. Oh, nobody's in the blind. Okay.
After checking the area and finding corn, the officers head to the residence of the landowner.
Shh, it's okay. Shh, it's okay. Hello, police. Police, how's it going? How are you?
Good. Sadie Mae.
Is you okay?
Sadie Mae, come. Say, come on. Come. Come. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Stop. Sit.
We've been on your property already because we got a good complaint, okay? Why are we here?
I don't know.
No idea.
I was feeding.
Okay, what else?
That was it.
Where were you at tonight?
I was in here.
You've been in here the whole night?
Yeah, we ate dinner and
Yeah, we did.
Okay, you haven't been hunting tonight at all?
no.
Obviously, we have some winter weather that blew in early this morning.
Michigan's late season elk hunt typically has much different weather conditions than what hunters and conservation officers experience during the early season.
We're gonna go out and see if we can find some elk hunters. The morning started off a little slow. We've had a couple elk come in. The snow is good. It provides some tracking ability for the animals, for the hunters tracking the animals, I should say, and also hunters recovering injured or shot game. It's easier to find them, obviously, when there's available snow on the ground.
It's the opening weekend of the late elk season in the state's District 3. And officers Sidney Collins and Paul Fox are checking on a hunter who has shot a cow elk.
About what time did you take her at?
9:57.
9:57.
When we found the tracks from the herd, yeah, they were out.
You are unit
No, we ran into some guys that stopped us on the road.
So nice cow, one shot, and then we just go in, we seal the animal, take down the hunter's information, relay that to the check station in Gaylord, and move on to the next one.
After patrolling separately, Officer Fox meets up with CO Collins again while she's checking on an elk hunter who shot a bull.
So we do have a little bit of an issue here.
What do you got?
So we, in all the packet and the information.
Yeah, I got the E-tag.
Okay, yep, you were supposed to hunt in Unit H. We're actually in Unit I right now,
way.
and we're about a good 3/4.
It said I could hunt in all units.
So
I too.
I can explain it to you on the map. So
Okay.
there's Unit H and there's Unit I, and then there's Unit X. Okay, you could Unit H, you can hunt in Unit H, and you can hunt in Unit X. So you got H, I.
I mean, I believe you.
X.
I just.
I'm just trying to explain it to you, okay? And why we do that is so we don't get hunters all in one spot, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. So we are about a good 3/4 of a mile to a mile out of your actual hunt unit. Okay. I know I hate to put the damper on. It's such an awesome experience, but it's laws that I can't change. Okay.
So what happens now?
So what's going to happen is we are going to let you keep the bull,
Yeah.
which we don't always do in these circumstances.
Don't get me wrong. I understood that I could hunt I, X, and H.
Okay.
The way the paperwork on the map showed me.
Okay.
Said I could hunt all units, and that's what I was going by.
Sure.
I didn't realize it was that.
Sure. Yeah, unfortunately it's not, and like I said, it's a safety issue. You know, we don't want hunters all in one spot, okay?
I follow you.
So we will let you keep the elk. However, elk is one of our protected species. I do have to submit a complaint and warrant, but the good news is this can,
Go
you
with
can
us.
still keep the meat and everything to that effect, okay?
Yep.
Again, I hate to put the damper on it, but that's why we have these certain areas that you got to stay in, okay? And if I can explain that any better to you,
No,
I'd like to.
I understand. No. I would just understood the paperwork wrong.
Okay.
I really did.
All right.
So,
Well, like I said, you'll still keep the elk.
Yeah.
So that's, like I said, it's a minor hiccup.
So what do I do after this?
So I'll get some information. I can explain it all to you. Right now, we'll just have our wildlife tech. She'll take a look at it. She'll do some of her stuff, and then I can explain everything to you. Okay?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Passing Along the Heritage, or PATH, is an organization that strives to do just what its name indicates. Share their passion and appreciation for the outdoors with young people and veterans, as well as those who live with a disability.
Actual Make-A-Wish Foundation doesn't do hunting and fishing trips anymore, and so we started doing that, and it's probably our primary focus now. We do ourselves, we do 50 hunts a year or something like that. We provide everything for them, taxidermy and butchering and a mount.
Caleb Geiger is a 15-year-old hunter that is blind. He and his dad, Tom Geiger, attended a PATH banquet where they got to meet many of the people involved with the organization and to interact with some of the people that are orchestrating the process of getting Caleb a bear tag.
Every year, Michigan hunters apply in a lottery system for a bear or elk license. The Department of Natural Resources has a program set up where successful applicants can choose to donate their license to either youth, 16 years of age or younger, or an individual with an advanced illness.
We're connecting those that have points that wish to donate them with kids that otherwise wouldn't be able to manage a bear hunt. And we have adaptive equipment. We can take any person with any handicap whatsoever. We've taken blind people, quadriplegics, paraplegics. We can handle anybody with a desire to hunt.
So the hunting license transfer program came about from an idea from a hunter in 2001 who had drawn a bear tag but wasn't going to be able to utilize it. The hunter had contacted the department and asked if there was a way that they could transfer that license to another individual. The department thought it was a wonderful idea, so in 2002 they formalized the program and set up a system to allow licenses, either bear or elk, be transferred to individuals 16 years of age or less who have applied for licenses, or an individual with an advanced illness.
PATH started as a handful of friends getting together, selling some of their outdoor gear, and raising around $3,000 over 20 years ago. Now, PATH typically raises more than $100,000 each year, with only 1% of their money going towards administrative costs. Lieutenant Joe Molnar has been involved with the PATH Foundation for many years and really enjoys helping others through his work with PATH.
One of the greatest organizations that I've been able to be part of. It truly has the greatest intent of getting individuals who have never hunted before or have limitations that prohibit them from normally getting out. PATH has numerous hunting trailers that have apparatuses that allow individuals who may be quadriplegic or unable to hold a firing system, whether it be a crossbow or a rifle, and give them the opportunity to get hunting.
Caleb Geiger hunts with the help from his dad, who uses an app on his phone to see through the scope of his son's gun. Once bear season rolled around, Caleb was successful in bagging a bear using the tag that had been donated to him through the hunting license transfer program.
It's just heartwarming how many generous people there are out there, and especially now. You know, it's been incredible, the outpouring of assistance that we've gotten since COVID started.
My dad was a conservation officer. I've been around it my whole entire life. It's what I've always wanted to do. I'm very fortunate to have this job. It is the greatest job on earth. I'm not going to lie about that. I haven't even felt like I've worked a day yet.
Michigan conservation officers Dan Listenfeldt and John Shepard rushed towards a hunting area in response to a report that someone heard a gunshot coming from the woods during bow season. After arriving at the property, the officers found corn there and then went to confront the landowner.
At the end of the day, it's a deer. It's not a person that got murdered or anything like that. Okay, that's what we're talking about, is a deer, okay? If you shot one, or if you shot at one and missed, anything along those lines, it's 110% better to tell us.
Going on like you got me doing something. I didn't do anything.
Just
I'm not a little kid either, man. If you're gonna give me
finish.
My ticket for feeding
We'll
the
get
damn
there.
bear.
We'll get there in a second. I'm trying to be nice and talk to you here, okay?
Well, you're trying to act like I'm gonna admit to something that I didn't frickin' do, man.
Everybody lies to us, and then we gotta get it out of people.
I'm 58
okay?
years old, man.
I have 90-year-old people lie to me all the time. Okay?
Last
So I'm sitting here trying to be nice to you, okay? I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt and trying to get you to tell me the truth.
I didn't shoot a deer.
Okay, is that your final story?
I did not shoot a deer.
Okay, did he shoot at a deer and
He
miss?
hasn't left. He came and said, let's go get some pallets. And I said, I'm finishing dinner. We're going to be done. It's going to be done. I just carried the dishes in and did them and just pulled my apple pie out.
Okay.
And yeah, his dad is in there. He takes his medicine at 5 o'clock. We ate at 5:30.
Okay.
Late. Yeah. He said, let's go. I said, just took the tire out of the truck. We were
Okay.
going to get pallets.
I know it. You have not been able to bait in this part of the state for I think about 30 years or so. It's been a very long time. So the new recent baiting ban for the Lower Peninsula is nothing new for, you know, here in Alpena County and things like that. So everybody knows that they can't do it, especially over there, and they just take their chances, and he was one that was caught.
You're acting like I'm a stupid, lying little kid, and I'm not.
Listen.
I know I'm in trouble. I'm pissed off because I got caught feeding frickin'
Just
deer.
listen for a second. I'll talk to you in just a second about your duck.
Don't worry about the duck.
Okay.
Flew south.
If it was even legal, if you could bait down here, that would still be way over the limit, so it would still be a problem.
In this case, for illegally baiting, this man paid a court-ordered fine of $425.
I know you guys are upset and, you know, everything's good, okay? You are getting a citation for the feeding, okay? I'll explain that in just a second, okay? You haven't been able to do that over here in 30 years,
I'm sorry
okay?
about that squash.
Okay? No, it's the corn more than anything.
Oh, okay, the squash.
It's both.
Too much for me.
It's both, but.
They seen me haul it back there.
Yeah,
That's why
that's
they
why
called you. They didn't hear no gunshot.
I'm sorry.
Well, we actually had, I'm not lying to you when I say we had multiple people call.
Yeah.
So.
Why would that be when this guy over here shoots a machine gun? Everyone's just all around here.
Everyone's just saying it was clear as day, one rifle crack from back here. That's what multiple people heard.
Michigan conservation officers Tim Roshaki and Nathan Beelman are performing a necropsy on an elk that was found dead and reported to the DNR.
I want to know what it hit to kill it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's good. Nate, here, picture.
Eventually, the officers find a bullet in the animal.
So the nice thing is that's a unique bullet. We can start finding our hunters that might have that.
Earlier today, we got a call of somebody found a deceased elk out in the woods here in the Pigeon River country. We were contacted through a tribal biologist, those tribal hunters that found it, and the biologist was able to lead us out to the site. So when we got out here, we noticed obvious trauma. There was a bullet hole in the animal. The animal was shot back in the guts area. There was stomach content readily visible in the gunshot hole. Typically animals like that don't bleed a whole lot, so one of my partners walked the animal's trail back trying to find out if we could figure out where the animal was potentially shot at, while myself and Officer Beelman conducted a necropsy on the animal.
In this case, the officers explored a few leads, but were not able to come to a positive conclusion. They suspect that whoever shot the bull likely had a valid tag and simply didn't find the animal that they shot. The officers also believe that the heavy snow and shot placement may have made tracking difficult. This case is considered closed. Michigan conservation officers Sidney Collins and Paul Fox have encountered a hunter who shot a bull elk in the wrong unit. The hunter has been very cooperative and is very appreciative of the experience he's had while going on his once-in-a-lifetime hunt.
Everything is great here. Everybody's on their toes and doing their thing, and DNR's been great too. And we hope to get this all quartered up and butchered and ready for the next round. This is going to be great. We love it. Michigan, gotta love Michigan.
And then before I forget, is that your done here? Okay, I just need the serial number. Things all that I mean, technically you could take it, but I'm not going to do all that.
Appreciate that. I've had this since I've been 18.
Oh. Make sure you wipe her down good.
I know, I gotta do all that.
What a beautiful day though. I mean, besides the little damper you got going on, I mean, you got a beautiful bull, beautiful day.
Yeah.
down street.
Give me a leg. Ready? There you go. They kicked me.
Thank you. You're awesome.
You're welcome.
Cool.
So for this, this gentleman shot this elk out of his unit. So what we'll do is we will let him keep the elk, but we'll go complaint and warrant for take elk out of his unit. So a bit of a damper on the day, but at least he gets to keep his elk. So
In this case, for shooting a bull in the wrong unit, this man pled guilty and paid a court-ordered fine of $392.
we are on state land, but we do have units for our hunters, half them in Unit I, half them in Unit H. And because he didn't take it in his correct unit, technically it's not legally taken elk. So we have to go complaint and warrant through the prosecutor and see what they want to do about it. But the reason that we have those different units is for safety issues. We don't want the 160 hunters all in the same unit. So it'd be a lot of people in one area, so we split them up so we can kind of conquer more elk in different areas.
The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens,
Are you sure your son's gonna be good?
conservation officers in both District 4 and District 5
So sit back down on your sled. What's wrong with you? You realize you're a felon now?
patrol snowmobilers and ice anglers during downright frigid conditions. And also,
He is just massive and he's impressive.
wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. Michigan's whitetail deer season is typically the time of the year that gets the most people outdoors. When the weather turns even colder in the winter, however, many Michigan residents, as well as visitors, still enjoy heading outside for cold weather activities such as ice fishing and snowmobiling. In the state's District 5, Conservation Officer Matt Zultek is stopping by various fishing shacks to check on individuals who are ice fishing.
It was -4 this morning, not counting the windshield.
On a frigid January day.
I'm Conservation Officer Zultek.
How you doing today?
Good, nice to meet you. Just gonna do a real quick fish check.
Oh, sure.
Have any luck yet?
No, they haven't even dropped the line in yet.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna check your fishing license then.
Sure.
Trying to get some crappie?
Whatever.
Whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, normally you get some gills in here, and crappie is normally what people will try and get here. That, and you'll probably get some small hammer handle pike hitting your jig lines too.
There you go.
Cool, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep.
What's your last name, sir?
Control.
Oh, cool. Thank you much. I appreciate it.
Oh, sure.
No fish yet, though, at all?
No, I haven't even. You can tell. I've just cleaned the line. I just started cleaning the holes.
Yep. Were you here yesterday, or did you just dig
No,
those?
I just got here.
So you were smart. You put up your shanty, you turned on your heater, and then you started digging their holes inside, so you stayed warm while you did it. Cool. Well, I hope you have a good day, sir.
Yeah, me too.
Conservation Officer, can you open up?
Sure. Go ahead. Help yourself.
Okay, thank you. How you doing today?
What do you want? You guys want to step in or what?
I'm actually good right here.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's your buddy over there?
It is.
Cool. Did the flag go up?
It did.
Cool. How many tippos you guys got out?
He's just got his. I think he's got one or two. I don't have any.
Okay.
Just got the one stick right here.
Okay, that's it? Cool.
That's all I got.
You guys doing jigging? He jigging too? You jigging?
Well, he's jigging.
Okay.
So he's got 2 tip-ups. I think 2 tip-ups in the jig. I got just one stick.
Okay.
That's all I got. Too lazy to do the tip-up. It's cold.
Okay.
Am I light?
Nope, just checking your license. That's what I'm gonna ask for, yeah? Sure. Is your license in here or over there? Yep. Okay, I'm gonna I'll check yours then when you get back inside here so that you're not out here freezing. You're just using the one jig line then?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I just don't want all your heat to escape. I'll let you jump in there, dude. I don't want your hands getting the warm. It's nasty cold out here.
It is.
How many fish you got?
0.
0?
Just started though.
Okay. What's your last name, sir? Okay. Where are you guys from?
Westland.
Westland, okay.
I'm from Canton.
Canton? Pretty close to Westland.
Yeah.
Same last name?
No, different last name.
We're different.
Yep, yeah, that right there.
Okay, I appreciate it, guys. Good luck to you today.
After checking several ice fishing anglers and not encountering or observing any violations, Officer Zultek receives word that he may be needed to assist another officer.
Right now, I'm going to back up one of my partners. He attempted to make a snowmobile stop just on the county line, and it appears he was trying to stop 3 sleds. Appears they all kind of took off in all different directions. It seems like he's got 2 of them stopped right now, and I'm headed that way, seeing if he needs any help, and on the way there, trying to see if I can get any sign or pick up where that other sled might have went to that took off from him.
Traveling westbound on Higgins Lake, they had just pulling out of Old 27.
Okay.
Traveling westbound, I sped up and followed them because that's the direction I was going anyway. Caught up with them on the west side of 127 here.
Yeah.
Noticed that all 3 didn't have trail permits. 1 registration was expired. So I turned on my lights, went to go make a stop, slightly turned on the 120 or Military Road. Yeah. Saw the lead sled here, which just kind of made a U-turn, and he was making a run for it.
Okay.
So I turned around, caught him right here, had my lights and sirens on still, and he finally stopped. I said, "Why did you run from me?" And because he didn't have a trail permit on it.
Okay. So he already admitted to running from you too?
Yeah.
Do you know, did he tell you where they were headed?
No, they just said that they just left to go on the trails today. It's their first time having them out. He owns 2 of the 3 sleds.
They're either gonna have gone north up to Fletcher where you guys were at earlier, or they're gonna have hit the Robinson Lake Trail system.
Michigan conservation officers work in a wide variety of weather conditions. The summer months typically bring heat and humidity as COs monitor anglers targeting an extensive array of fish species, as well as recreational boaters. Conversely, the winter months can deliver deep snow and frigid conditions. In the state's District 4, it's late February, and Officer Angela Greenway is starting her shift by trudging through snow on Chippewa Lake to check ice fishing anglers and monitor snowmobilers.
Today we're going to focus on ice fishing activity in our inland lakes. We've had a lot of activity in the last few weeks, and so we're going to go check out and see what kind of activity we have today. I think it's going to be really good, and we're going to have a lot of positive contacts. It's sunny out, it isn't too cold, and people just like to get outdoors and recreate, so we're going to go check it out. Are you by yourself in the...
No, my son's in there.
Okay.
My 13-year-old son.
Okay.
He's staying warm because he decided to step through a hole.
Oh, no. I mean, did he get too wet? Is he all right?
Yeah, we got a heater in there, so he's
Okay,
fine.
okay. What am I looking at? 71. Combo, fish combo. All right, very good. So no fish?
No fish yet. We got out here maybe 45 minutes ago. We haven't even had a bite yet.
Okay. Are you local here, or?
Stanwood.
Okay.
But we come up here because buddies of mine came here from work 2 days ago, skipped out on work and limited out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then we haven't seen anything since.
They're very fickle here. That's kind of the story of this place. I mean,
well, I know they move around a little bit too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't move around for a minute or two until he's back. We set the thing up and put it over the top of the holes, and he stepped right in it.
Oh, man. So, all right. Are you sure your son's going to be good?
Yeah, he's good.
Does he... Okay, you don't need anything from me?
Check on him if you want to. He's in there, but...
You can go talk to him. How you doing? Good. It's not filling a hole. How you doing? Swimming, huh? Yeah. You doing all right? Yeah. You getting warmed up?
Yeah, I'm sitting by Peter.
Yeah, you're steaming. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so lesson learned, bring extra pants next time, right? Yeah. All right.
The tarp with like the bottom of it was over and I couldn't see it.
Yeah. Come. Come here. Come here. Come. Did you set the tip up or did you leave it? You don't want either? You want tip up there? Do you want to throw your name and address on that one? I didn't see it on there. Maybe I missed it.
No, I know it's on that one, right?
It is on that one, yep. You didn't
Okay.
see it on this one. When did you set that?
Oh, within a half hour. I mean, I literally just started setting stuff up.
Okay. It fills
Maybe
up
half
that
hour,
fast?
45 minutes ago.
When is it cold out?
I'll get a piece of tape and get it on there. It's not on there.
Yeah, it's not. I saw it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thought I did, but.
Yeah. You're right here. I'm not gonna.
Okay. No, thank you.
Concerned about it. I mean, if you were sitting in the house and you guys weren't out here with it, it'd be a different story. But
Now, how does that work as far as, because you're allowed 2 lines per person?
you're actually allowed 3 lines per person.
Oh,
Sorry about
okay.
that.
No,
Let me
not a
turn
problem.
this off.
And that includes the tip up though?
Yes,
Okay.
that
Yep,
includes
I
it.
thought so. I
Yep.
just want to make sure, but I thought it was just 2 lines.
No, so you could have 2 tip-ups out and you could have a line in your hand.
Okay.
Yep.
And then as far as the kids go, is it 1 kid per license, or like would my license cover all of them?
Well, anybody under 17 doesn't have to have a fishing license.
Okay. Okay.
So, I mean,
I just thought like I had to be. I mean, somebody had to be licensed for them to fish under you. I thought that's how that worked, but.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't really work necessarily that way. If you didn't have a license, but you're helping them fish.
Okay. As long as I don't
you're
have.
casting and you're helping and you're baiting and like you're participating a lot, then you would be required to have a license. But if the child under 17 is fishing on their own, then they're not required to have a license.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. So, your son in there, right?
It's her nephew.
Your nephew.
Yep.
Okay. So he could have 3 lines. You can have 3 lines. And
Which
you can have 3
we're
lines.
definitely not going to do that. That's a little.
That's a
little
lot
much,
to manage, but
yes.
you know, legally, yes, you guys
Okay.
could do that.
The Michigan DNR, as well as several other agencies, including the U.S. Forest Service, are frequently reminding the public to do their part to prevent forest fires. Wildfires in the western U.S. are frequently heavily covered in the media, which is fitting given the scope of the fires and the large areas of land that have been affected. Unfortunately, though, wildfires are an issue throughout the United States.
One of the biggest responses we get when we go out and suppress a fire is the fact that I just didn't think it would move that fast. I didn't think it would escape.
Most wildfires are started by humans.
Across the country, we found that 90% of the fires annually have been started by humans. You know, some of the largest fires out west that are burning out of control are, some of them are lightning caused, but 90% of them are human caused. So that's why we want to hammer home our message of fire prevention and fire safety.
The most well-known campaign to make people cognizant of how their actions can make a huge impact on natural resources features Smokey Bear. Smokey Bear was created in 1944 through a joint effort by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Smokey Bear is an iconic symbol for fire prevention across the United States, more so in the West, but we're really excited to get it up here in the Upper Peninsula.
At the Upper Peninsula State Fair in northern Michigan, a huge Smokey Bear hot air balloon was present to continue to spread his message. Smokey is bigger than most hot air balloons.
He's 144,000 cubic feet. And if you think of a basketball being 1 cubic foot, that means 144,000 basketballs could fit inside a Smokey. The average balloon that people fly around the country is probably about 77 cubic feet to 90,000. So you can just see how massive he is. Additionally, the envelope alone weighs about 750 pounds compared to the average balloon, 250 pounds or less. He is just massive and he's impressive.
The Smokey Bear balloon is operated by an all-volunteer team that is based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. They travel the country to get Smokey off the ground and to share important information with the public.
A group of former Forest Service employees got together to begin this nonprofit organization. And we know that Smokey Bear, the original Smokey Bear, was found in a forest in New Mexico and has become the symbol of fire prevention. So we take them around to educate not only kids, but adults.
Smokey's message isn't complicated, but it is important.
A lot of times it's the kids that remind the parents to be safe.
He's a bear.
And he represents
to not have fire in the woods.
The age-old message is, you know, when you're out camping, you're recreating, take care of your fires, take care of your campfires, make sure that, you know, they're out before you leave, and then when you're in the backyard burning your debris, make sure you're there watching it.
Be careful is the biggest thing. Just take the precautions and always have a bucket of water and a shovel handy. It just takes a few minutes that you can quickly put out something that jumps out of a fire and put it out so we don't have to show up and help everybody.
Michigan Conservation Officer Matt Zultek is assisting CO Jeremy Cantrell after Officer Cantrell attempted to stop some snowmobilers and they didn't stop for him.
I just made contact with 5118 who was with one of the subject, one individual that was in the lead trail or the lead snowmobile that ran from him. He was getting some information from him, and it appears that 2 more sleds took off. So right now we have some sleds out checking the trail system that they were last seen headed to, and I'm checking some of the main roads that they might be popping out back on to get back to their cabin. If you knew you didn't have this stuff on the sled, did you tell them, hey, I don't have stuff on the sled? Are they aware of that or not?
Not my daughter, but my
your son-in-law is?
Yeah,
okay.
My nephew.
So and your daughter's probably gonna follow your nephew?
Yeah. So
okay.
I can go up to the military road and look for him there.
Does he have the apps and stuff on his phone that are gonna show him the trails?
No, I don't even know if they have their phones. I don't carry a phone.
Okay.
So I don't have a phone. But I can go up to...
You good with him having to try and give him a call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and try and get a hold of him, okay? Just, do you have any firearms inside your cabin?
No, sir, I don't even know what I got.
Okay, I have to ask for my own safety, that's just it, man. You know, he admitted that he didn't stop because he knew why, so.
He's not a felon.
No, makes sense.
I mean, he is, but he's not.
Well, yeah, that's what I was explaining is that. Did you explain it to him that
I said
once he hit that pavement?
Oh, when I got out and he got off his sled, I screamed at him. I said, "Sit back down on your sled. What's wrong with you? You realize you're a felon now?"
Yep.
And he started to tear up a little bit, so I
toned it down a minute.
Sat him in my truck and warmed him up.
Either answer.
Okay.
They're not going to hear it on us, right? So.
Okay. Do you think that they're going to just be going out for a ride then, or what's up?
I don't know.
He doesn't know the area at all.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he does some. He just is newer at it. Right?
Okay.
This is, I think, only the 2nd season. Neither of them answered.
Okay. The issue is this, man. So as soon for some this small, I know he told you, for some as small as a trail sticker, once they hit that road and they kept running and they didn't stop, that's a felony, you know? And so of course you're gonna see officers out here because they just committed a felony, you know what I mean?
They didn't know any better, and I was just
understand
acting
that.
out of stupidity. I mean, it was just the dumbest thing. If you looked at my rec, I haven't had a...
No, I understand.
In 35 years, I haven't, you know, so. We just got these up here the other day.
What I'm going to ask you to do, keep trying to give them a call here, okay? Because we're not going anywhere until we can, you know, we got about 4 trucks trying to look for them now.
Can I go up to military or not?
I'm going to let the investigating officer make that decision here. Okay. But keep trying to give them a call, okay? Just keep trying. Because eventually they're going to stop, because normally when somebody from your party stops on you and you're on and there's a bunch of you, normally you stop at the next intersection and wait.
Yeah.
So are they going to have kept going, or are they going to have stopped, or?
I don't know, and they may come up off of the lake too. You know, I don't know.
Is that them?
They're right there.
Okay.
That's them?
Yep.
Yeah. Here. I'll just...
You sure that's going to be them?
Officers Matt Zultek and Jeremy Cantrell are working a case where 3 snowmobilers didn't stop when CO Cantrell attempted to stop them. After having some difficulty locating all of them, the officers now have all of the riders in one place.
What happened, man?
Honestly, I saw my uncle bolt and I just didn't really know what was going on, so we just kind of figured we'd just keep riding.
Okay. Did you see him activate his lights and stuff?
I saw the first, yes,
Okay.
I did.
Why didn't you stop, man?
Well, you know, that is my uncle. I respect him a lot, and I didn't really understand. You know, he's not a bad guy, neither are we, and we messed up, so.
Okay, what's the issue with your sled? Why did you guys want to keep going? Do you not have stuff?
I know that I don't have, my insurance expired in September 2018.
Or your registration, did you mean? Or insurance, or what?
Yes, sir, my registration.
Registration, do you have a snow sticker?
Yes, I do, but I believe that's out of date as well.
Going to be collecting it from you. He's going to give you a receipt for that, okay? And so I'm not going to take any of that. I can't even touch that money. He's the one who's going to be dealing with all that, just because he's the one that's going to give you that receipt.
Since one of the snowmobilers is from out of state, they must collect bond from him to avoid taking him to jail.
This is going to actually come off your fine. So whatever your fine ends up being, it's going to be minus $50.
Okay.
All right, but this is just to ensure that you take care of it. Yes, sir. All right, which I have no doubt that you will.
I'm not going to tie you guys up with any felonies, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did with your uncle. All right, I'm going to write you a misdemeanor charge for fail to stop an officer. All right, I'm going to cut you a warning on all the other stuff that you have wrong with your sled, your trail permit, your registration, so on and so forth. Okay?
Yes, sir.
In this case, the man was charged with a misdemeanor for failing to stop for an officer, but pled responsible for a civil infraction of failing to bring his snowmobile to a stop before entering a roadway and paid a court-ordered fine of $240. His nephew pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge of failing to stop on the command of a peace officer and paid a court-ordered fine of $225.
We wrote him for failing to stop for an officer, him and his nephew, and then we gave him verbal warnings on the trail permits and the registration. They're 2 misdemeanor charges instead of felony charges. They were good people. It was an honest mistake, so we didn't want to jam them up with felonies. Moral of the story is, don't run from the game warden.
The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, a Michigan conservation officer in District 8 makes contact with people doing other things besides hunting on the opening day of archery season.
You're right. No, I'm on probation. Yeah, but you got alcohol in there and you're driving suspended while you're on probation.
And a D7 officer checks on hunters during the opening day of the firearm season.
Somebody's spying on me.
Yeah, me.
Also, a look into a program where hunters work with the state's DNR to donate their deer to those in need.
It's a good feeling to know that there's a lot of people that care about the hungry in this state.
Wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. White-tailed deer hunting is usually the activity that gets the most hunters into the woods in the state of Michigan. The archery season for deer opens on October 1st, and the firearm season opens on November 15th. This is the time of the year that is usually the busiest for conservation officers. They frequently start their shifts before sunrise and oftentimes work for several hours past dark. They may deploy decoys on private land where there have been complaints about poaching, or they may simply spend the majority of their work week responding to calls or looking into issues that they observe while patrolling their counties. Sometimes, even though deer hunting season is open, they might be checking on people who are enjoying Michigan's natural beauty by pursuing activities that don't have anything to do with deer hunting. In the state's District 8, Officer Todd Thorne begins his shift on the archery opener by checking on anglers in the state's capital of Lansing. From across the river, he watches a man land a fish.
He's got a fish. I think that's a salmon. We've been getting complaints of people snagging salmon in Lansing. We don't get a heavy run of salmon, but we do get some, and this year a few more than we have the last few years. So we had gotten started kind of before daylight, and usually the fishing is heaviest right around sunrise. So while we were in Lansing, I wanted to hit some of the popular spots. So it's definitely a salmon. So what we'll do is we'll go talk to him and look at the fish and see if it's got any marks on it where it might have been foul hooked, and we'll look at his line and see if it's legal. So let's go up here and we'll see if anybody else is fishing. I don't see anybody else.
After crossing to the other side of the river, C.O. Thorne makes contact with the fisherman.
Pardon? Oh, you don't have a license? Okay, conservation officer, just so you know. Okay. Well, I appreciate you being honest with me. Do you have an ID with you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Let me check that. Did you catch any fish?
I did.
Okay. When we made contact with him, he saw us, kind of looked down at the ground and then said, "Oh, you got me. I don't have a license."
I knew I was taking a chance. You know, I mean, it is what it is, you know. It's the first one I ever caught here. I've been fishing this place for 20 years.
And you caught a salmon.
It's the first salmon I've ever caught here. You know, I've caught catfish here, I've caught bass here, you know. Never in my life have I caught a salmon here. I just caught this fish 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, we watched you over there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, like 10 minutes ago I just caught it. I didn't even see you over there.
Yeah, well, we're sneaky. So we're going to take a picture of it and let it go, since it's still alive.
That's fair, yeah.
It's nice to see the salmon. We were able to let it go because it was still alive, which is good, so it didn't get wasted. And the guy got a ticket, but he knew what he was doing was wrong, and I think he was just kind of playing the game and trying to get away with it as long as he could. Do you have a smartphone?
I got an Android phone.
Yeah. So you can buy a fishing license right on that if you want to continue fishing.
You know, I just got my disability. Can I do that? Yeah, I'll do that right now.
While C.O. Thorne fills out the citation, this man uses his phone to begin the process of purchasing a license online.
I like to give a lot of breaks to people if I think they legitimately don't realize that they're supposed to have a license, and then I'll try to get them to buy the license right away on their phones, use it as an education experience instead. But in this case, the guy knew, and he said he'd been fishing for quite a while and didn't have his license. So if you know what you're doing is wrong and you're trying to get away with it, I think a ticket's coming.
I don't feel bad, you know, I don't feel bad. You know, I know you're doing your job and you're giving me a break.
Yeah.
Like I said, I knew I was taking a chance, and I just got my disability, you know, yesterday, and I should have bought it before I came out here this morning. I really should have. Okay, and I accept, you know, what I did was wrong, you know. And I got nothing but respect for you guys.
Thank you. You're taking a chance. Usually people get away with it, but sometimes they don't.
It's the opening day of Michigan's archery deer season, and Conservation Officer Todd Thorne is checking on a hunter who's just leaving the woods after his morning hunt.
Just checking your hunting license.
Give me 1 second.
Yep. Okay. Did you see anything? There's a bunch of turkeys right here when we pulled up, right by your truck. Did you get wet?
Not too bad.
Yeah. Thank you. You got your tags?
Yep.
Let me see those. Yeah, and your driver's license.
Take me a second.
That's all right. Not in a hurry. There you go. All right. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Later in the day, while driving, C.O. Thorne notices a truck on the side of the road without a license plate.
Do you have a valid license?
I don't actually.
No? Are you suspended?
Oh, yeah, I think so,
Yeah. You got any warrants?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
I actually just got out of jail.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, just hold tight.
All right.
Do you mind if I look in the vehicle real quick and then you can sit in there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that all right? You got any weapons?
No.
Okay, why don't
No, I live like my
just stand in front there first. I'm sorry, go ahead.
My dad lives down the road.
Okay.
He just wanted me to drive it home and bring it back.
Have you been drinking? No? Who's this?
Probably his.
Your dad's?
Yeah.
This man says that the liquor bottle is not his, and he was just borrowing the truck so that he could transport a used appliance that he'd recently acquired.
You can't have that in the vehicle, you know that?
Yeah, I didn't even know it was in there, actually.
Okay. Well, you can sit in there, try to get your dad to come help you out, but you can't drive it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'll figure out what else is gonna happen, okay?
Yep.
So he was stuck on the side of the road there. He doesn't have a driver's license, he's suspended, and he gave me consent to look in there, and he had some open alcohol. So we'll figure out what else is going on. No plate on the vehicle.
Approximately 6 weeks after Officer Thorne was patrolling on the opening day of the archery deer season, and approximately 100 miles to the west, Conservation Officer Carter Woodwick is on patrol on the second day of the firearm deer season in the state's District 7. Officer Woodwick is in a tree stand where he has permission to be. He is observing the adjacent property during the last hour of daylight to see what sort of hunting activity, if any, is taking place. Approximately 10 minutes before the end of legal shooting hours, Officer Woodwick observes an off-road vehicle heading towards the residence of the property. The driver of the ORV has a firearm with him that is not in a case. Officer Woodwick proceeds to the front of the property. He meets the hunter in the front yard.
Hello.
What up, Snuggles?
State Conservation Officer, what do you got in your hands?
Oh, it's unloaded.
It's unloaded? It's still got to be cased up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got your ID on you?
Yes, sir.
You shut your quad off for me? Any luck?
The old man, he got one.
Did he? What'd your dad end up shooting?
4-point.
4-point? You end up getting anything yet this year?
No. The one he got, I actually saw this morning.
Okay. Just get those all to you and you can get those put in there. We'll hang out, wait for your dad to show up here in just a second.
A short time later, another man comes to the front yard from the hunting area behind the house.
Can you shut it off? So it's State Conservation Officer, how are you?
Real good. I got the tag right in my pocket.
All right, why don't you have it on the deer yet?
My hands are too cold.
Okay.
He has shot a deer, but does not have a tag on it. Michigan Sportsmen Against Hunger is an organization that works in conjunction with the Michigan DNR to donate wild game to the needy.
What we do is we tie in wild game processors with hunters that want to donate game that they take, specifically deer, to any of our participating processors, and when they bring the deer in, they don't have to pay anything. Just donate the whole deer to feed the hungry in the community, and we pick up the tab for the processing.
For Adam Eller, he has in-depth knowledge and experience with how this operation runs so smoothly. He is a dedicated hunter and also a deer processor who stays busy during the hunting season.
So we've been a participant in the program for approximately 10 to 12 years, and it's just grown exponentially each year. The first year I remember doing just under 1,000 pounds. I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty incredible. People are willing to, basically sacrifice that meat on their end of it, and so we can get our hands on it and turn it over to these food banks.
The wild game that is donated remains in the community where it is processed.
Like Smith's processing here. It's all the deer that are processed here, and the venison burger stays within this community. It helps out the communities a lot. And we get a lot of cards, a lot of letters thanking us for that.
We're 10, 12 years into the program, and now we do a number that's just staggering when I look back. Nearly 5,000 pounds of venison donated to these local pantries.
MSAH vets processors before they're approved for the program. They must be insured and properly licensed. The effort to provide food for people in need is a great alliance between processors, the Michigan DNR, and Michigan Sportsmen Against Hunger.
From the DNR's perspective, having an opportunity to harvest game, be able to provide food for families in need, is just a great thing for us. We have an abundance of deer, and we have a lot of hunters, but there's also a lot of other people that can benefit that may not be out in the woods, so it's an awesome thing for us.
It's a good feeling to know that there's a lot of people that care about the hungry in this state, and they want to see them benefit from channeling our precious resources.
We had one lady here this year. It was a really neat experience for me. We'd been doing it for several years and had a lot of grateful people. But this lady actually asked me if it was okay to give me a hug, and she had tears rolling down her cheeks. And to see that amount of gratitude that she had towards this program, I mean, it would touch anyone's heart.
Michigan Conservation Officer Todd Thorne has pulled up behind a stopped pickup that doesn't have a license plate on it. Upon asking for and being granted permission to search the vehicle, CO Thorne found an open bottle of liquor. The driver of the truck has a driver's license that is suspended.
Sir, step out and come back here. You got a warrant for your arrest, okay? So I'll explain it in a minute, but I want you to lean forward, turn that way, lean forward, put your hands behind your back like this. Lean forward and look that way. What's all this stuff in here?
Garden.
You don't have any drugs or anything on here, right?
No, I'm on probation.
Yeah, but you got alcohol in there and you're driving suspended while you're on probation, right?
Yeah.
So you just borrowed the truck?
Well, we bought this washer and dryer, and there's not enough room for both.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to drive home my way to the guy's house.
Okay. And the clutch just went out, didn't it?
Yeah, as soon as I hit those tracks, it just stopped.
Yeah. Because you were still rolling when I pulled up. All right, so you just hold tight for a second. I'm going to put these on your seat, okay?
The location of this traffic stop is more than 25 miles away from the county that has a warrant out for him. Since this particular warrant is only for pickups within a 25-mile radius, this man will not be taken to jail as a result of this stop.
Sir, you're not going to jail. They already told me that they don't want you, okay? You can go get one of them to sit in the truck, and then you can push it off the road, I guess. But just don't leave until I tell you, okay?
Yep.
And I'll find out the information further on this warrant, all right?
Yeah.
I know it's out of Lansing.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's a 25-mile pickup.
I was in Lansing one day, my buddy, I let him drive, and I had to pee real bad. And he said, oh, just 2 more blocks. So I hopped out of the car, and I went pee on a building.
Oh, geez. And somebody saw you?
Oh, yeah. Apparently there's a cop right behind us.
Oh, wow. All right, good. This is your warrant, and it's for unsanitary action.
Yeah.
So that's better than them writing you for public indecency or whatever and being on the sex
they were
offender.
Pretty cool about it. They understood,
This man is issued 2 citations, one for driving with a suspended license and one for having an open container of alcohol in his vehicle.
I almost gave him a warning for the open intox until he told me that when he saw me, he put a sweatshirt over the whiskey and he said, oh, S. So at that point, I knew he was trying to hide it. He did give me consent to search, but I don't think he thought I was going to find it under the sweatshirt. So when they start hiding things, I'm less likely to give them a warning. Get the vehicle off the road as soon as you can, okay?
Yeah, George should be coming.
Yeah, and then I advise you to call Lansing and get that warrant taken care of.
Yeah.
It's only a $300 bond, so It'd be better to take care of it than have to look over your shoulder all the time. So, all right, take care.
Michigan Conservation Officer Carter Woodwick is on patrol of the second day of the state's firearm deer season. He has contacted 2 hunters on the same hunting property. One of them was riding an off-road vehicle with a firearm that was not in a gun case. The other man shot a deer, recovered it, and brought it up to his house, but did not have it tagged when CO Woodwick made contact with him there.
So you know, with when you shoot a deer, you know, the old saying goes, tag it before you drag it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You gotta make sure you tag it immediately.
That's the one I use, right?
Yep, that's the one you're gonna have to use. Did you hear what I was saying there in terms of tagging it?
Yeah.
Yeah? That makes sense?
Yeah, I used to, but I always kind of get screwed up here.
So is there any reason when you were driving up here after you shot your deer that you don't case your gun up or lock it up like it's supposed to be?
I had it down there.
When you were coming in on your gator?
I had, it was unloaded.
Right, and it was sitting on your lap?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the issue. It's got to be locked. It either has to have a...
somebody spying on me.
Yeah, me.
Where were
Don't,
you
don't
at?
get an attitude with them, please.
No, I just asked a question.
I was sitting in the woods.
My woods or theirs?
Who's theirs?
No.
Your neighbor?
Yeah.
Yeah, your neighbors.
Figured as much. Okay, this is nothing.
So even if it's on your own property, the firearm has to be...
Yeah, there's no exception to it. Yep, no exception. Doesn't matter if you're on private property, public land, driving down the road. It's got to be, you either have to have a locking device that locks the trigger, like a mechanical key locking device, or it has to be locked in something or completely cased up. As soon as you get it right in the bucket, don't bring it all the way up to the house and then decide to tag it later.
Is this going to affect me buying a license next year? Or?
Nope, it shouldn't. Nope, I don't plan on going for any kind of license revocation or anything, but obviously I just want you guys to learn from it. And
I learned a lot, yeah.
In this case, for operating an ORV with an uncased firearm, this man pled guilty and paid a court-ordered fine of $275. His dad faced the same charge of having an uncased firearm and was also charged with failing to immediately put a kill tag on his deer. He pled guilty to both charges and paid $275 for the uncased firearm and $325 for the untagged deer. As a result, his grand total in court-ordered fines was $600.
if you have a locking mechanism that will go over your trigger, like like they have on pistols sometimes, if you put that on it, then you're good to put it in there or carry it on your lap.
But if I don't have that, there's the top.
As long as it's fully encased. If you got a piece that goes on the backside here and you can fully encase it in there, then you're good.
Oh, okay.
As long as it's unloaded. Like I said, remember to tag it before you drag it and case up the firearms unloaded, and then you won't have any issues. Obviously you guys are wearing orange, so you're good there. As long as you're not baiting back there, then we won't have any issues moving forward.
The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, a Michigan conservation officer in District 5 patrols off-road vehicle use during a busy spring weekend.
So we've had between like 2 and 4 to drink tonight. So is it 2 or is it 4? Be honest with me.
And he also looks into a case of a buck being shot during a coyote hunt.
That's like the one thing you should know from hunter safety class. Like if you sleep through the whole class, at least know what the heck you're gonna shoot.
Also, a visit to a Detroit suburb where the DNR places leg bands on ducks.
That banding effort also allows us to expand hunting opportunities. If we can show that populations are doing really, really well, production is high.
Wild animals and wild places, they're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens. dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. For many Michigan residents, winter in the Great Lakes state seems to linger on for much longer than a quarter of the calendar. While there's a wide array of outdoor activities for people to pursue when it's cold outside, many Michiganders prefer to wait for all the snow to melt and for the ground to thaw completely before they venture outdoors to really soak up the state's natural resources. One way that some people have fun outside is by utilizing off-road vehicles on some of the state's designated ORV trails. In Michigan's District 5, it's Memorial Day weekend, and Conservation Officer Josh Russell is monitoring ORV users who are taking advantage of the long weekend to venture outside and bask in the unofficial start of summer.
Things we look for ORV safety is first and foremost, people who are operating either a dirt bike or a quad have some sort of helmet on, or if they're in a side-by-side, they have a roll cage and their seatbelt on, because if they don't have either one of those, then they have to wear a helmet. Also looking for goggles for eye protection, just trying to make sure people are just operating safely. Then we're also looking for ORV stickers, which is their registration to be on the roadways. That allows them to leave private property and be on the roadways. And we're also looking for trail stickers if we're actually on the ORV trails. You got ORV stickers on? You do? Oh, okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I couldn't see them, so okay.
No problem, I apologize. They both do too.
They do too? Okay. Just want to double check. They're hard to see on those machines.
On the other side.
Other side? Okay. Right there. You're good. So you guys are just sticking to the roads then, not going down trails?
Sorry, no, we're going down the trail here.
Okay, well, you're not going to ORV trails?
No.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Just the State Forest 2 tracks then?
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, guys, I'll let you get back to it. You're good.
All right, thank you so much.
Not a problem. Just wanted to make sure you had them. I didn't see them.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Hey, you do the same. Thanks.
After conducting several checks on riders, their equipment, and their DNR stickers, Officer Russell is called to the scene of an accident.
Fire's here. Still requesting medical attention from EMS.
Do you have any idea what happened?
Some of the roll I didn't got that far yet. I didn't know who was operating.
So I was coming up to the corner. They were coming around. I saw them come. They went over like 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
Back on the trail.
It's still back there? Okay.
I helped them get it lifted up off them in the machine. Two girls here, and then a mom and a daughter there. Mom was driving? Yeah. No, Dad was driving.
Dad's still back there?
Dad's still back there. Okay. Machine.
What color? You know what color machine it was?
It's blue and black.
Silver and black. Silver and black.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody else seems fine.
Another couple miles up, then you think around that bend? Okay. We should go find Dad then.
You gonna head up there?
Yeah, I'll head up there. Might be underneath the hood here. Remember we popped the hood, tried to find the VIN quick?
Yeah.
Okay. We cleared one ORV accident, which was a 7-year-old who got caught underneath a side-by-side, and as we were finishing the investigation on that, we got a call for a second personal injury accident on an ORV just north of us, a couple miles here, right at the Jonesville trailhead. So this is the machine?
Yep.
Okay, that's all she did to it then?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. The subject seems to have a broken arm. Looks like they just went off the trail and hit the side, blew a tire out, and broke their arm or injured their arm in some sort. They're loading up the ambulance now and headed to the hospital.
After clearing the 2 ORV accidents, CO Russell notices an off-road vehicle that's on a trail that's currently closed.
How's it going?
Good.
So, did you miss the signs where you're not supposed to be in here with these?
Oh, no.
How'd you get here?
By, was it Oyster Lake? Off of Chapel Dam?
Off of Chapel Dam.
Okay, so you came in off Chapel Dam and dumped into here? Yeah, there's big red sign says no ORVs, and there's a big, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah. How much we've been drinking tonight, ladies? I can smell it, so let's be honest.
Like 2.
Everyone says 2. It's 2 like 4, or is it 6?
Had 2 or 4.
2 or 4? Okay, how many have you had? That's the big issue.
Probably about 2 or 4.
2 or 4, somewhere in there? Okay. You got your ID on you? Go ahead and turn the machine off for me if you would. So we've had between like 2 and 4 to drink tonight. So is it 2 or is it 4? Be honest with me.
I don't know. I didn't count.
You didn't count? Okay. Any empties back here at all? Got couple bush lights? Okay. All right. No crazy wants, warrants, nothing you need to know about?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Sit tight for me, okay?
Okay.
Michigan's DNR strives to place leg bands on 2,000 mallards and 450 wood ducks each year. As a result, Different regions of the state use different techniques to place bands safely and efficiently. One spot where they put bands on mallards is in a suburb of Detroit in a busy residential neighborhood.
We moved here, it was a new house, in about 8 years ago. And this whole hill was covered with weeds waist high. And when we mowed down the weeds and saw that there was a creek here and saw a few ducks floating, I said, oh, this is nice. 4 grew to be 20 and then 50 and then 100. So now when the flight ducks come in early August, we have 200-300 every morning and every afternoon here just roosting on the hill.
The technique used in this location utilizes a net that's propelled by air over the ducks after they've been attracted to the area by corn. Once the net is spread out over the ducks, DNR staff and volunteers from the neighborhood work in pairs to safely and slowly remove them from the net and take them to 2 banders. As they are being banded, the sex and age are noted and recorded.
86 is juvenile hen.
87 juvenile drake.
This one's a juvenile drake. 83 JM.
Although the ducks occasionally appear to be struggling while they're under the net, they are handled extremely carefully and very seldom injured and frequently return to the area where they were banded right after being under the net.
So here's a duck we just did, right? We just banded this thing, shot the net over it, and it decided that it was comfortable enough that it just went back in and ate some more corn and got captured again. So we're just going to let it go since we just put this band on. But brand new shiny band, and yeah, we'll let it go.
Our first concern is always safety for the birds, no matter what we're doing. If we're banding ducks, we're banding geese, we want the birds to be healthy and safe when we let them go. It can be a fairly traumatic event for them, but we also just showed that we captured 2 birds that we had already caught this morning and handled once. So if you're doing things really well, it doesn't bother them very much. So the biggest thing we try and stress to our staff and our volunteers is remaining calm. Most animals are real receptive to your body language and your excitement level, waterfowl especially. If you can stay relaxed, it'll help them stay relaxed.
The data collected from banding birds in Michigan is a small part of a much larger nationwide effort to study waterfowl. Biologists study the movement, survival, and behavior of these banded birds. This data also helps federal and state agencies set bag limits.
That banding effort also allows us to expand hunting opportunities. If we can show that populations are doing really, really well, production is high, we're banding a lot of juvenile birds, we have a lot of birds. That's what's allowed us to have really liberal goose seasons in Michigan. And that's, for the flyway, it's allowed us to expand from, it wasn't that long ago, you could only shoot 1 wood duck a day in the Mississippi flyway, and now you can shoot 3 a day because these production states are showing that, our wood duck production is really high. We're putting a lot more ducks on the landscape than we thought at one time.
Banding is a pretty important role in like a broader partnership, and the partnership expands to, hunters, returning bands, people that help us out, partners that, participate in this sort of exercise here, but really the states each have quotas to put bands on ducks, and that way we can learn more about like migratory patterns and juveniles versus adults, so production and things.
I've worked with some grouse before and done some radio collaring for telemetry work and stuff like that, but not banding waterfowl. I've always been aware of it, aware of the program and everything like that, but never been a part of it actually being implemented, so it was pretty neat. Pretty dialed in program. It was very cool, very efficient. Yeah, it was a neat experience. Wildlife and law enforcement does a lot of work together, and yeah, this is definitely a good example of that.
The opportunity to band ducks in a suburban setting is somewhat unique and can help foster excitement, enthusiasm, and the spread of information regarding wildlife.
Finding these partnerships where people are already feeding ducks, they already know where ducks are at, allows us to tap into a huge resource that wasn't previously being monitored, and that impacts our knowledge of how many ducks are on the landscape, and then whether these urban ducks are going out into rural areas, are they being harvested by hunters afterwards, are they then going to other states and going into different environments, or are they going right to another urban environment? It's a whole nother question that's interesting to ask.
Approximately 6 months before he conducted his spring ORV patrol, Michigan Conservation Officer Josh Russell was checking on late-season deer hunters.
Check your gun real quick and your licenses, and I'll let you get warmed up in the car. How's that sound?
He's in the parking lot of a state game area and checking the licenses and equipment of hunters as they return to their vehicles after their evening hunts.
She's all unloaded and all that good stuff? Perfect, that's what I like to see. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I wish I was seeing you drag a deer out or something like that. I could, finish helping you get it to the truck, but I'll let you get back in the truck and get warmed up then, sir.
All righty, well, you guys have a good time.
You as well. Good luck the rest of the season.
Later in the evening, CO Russell meets up with Officer Mike Haas to conduct an interview. They're at the home of a man who has self-reported that he mistakenly shot a deer while hunting for coyotes and foxes.
I got your call in the middle of the night last night, and then I had a bunch of other complaints to get to today, so and you were the next one on my list. So I guess I'm just trying to figure out exactly everything that went down.
Oh, we're out cow hunting. So there's a fox back there, and so he always comes from the left. Come out in that hill right there, where that deer was, looked like a fox sticking through. So I just shot and dropped the gun a little too early.
Okay. Were you calling or anything? Or
Yeah, I mean, we had a call going.
Okay. Was hunting with you then?
He was not right directly sitting with me. He was over in there. He was on their side.
Okay. How many guys were hunting, I guess, with you?
5 of us.
And what'd you shoot it with?
6.5 grain down.
Okay. Did you have that here? So
I do have that.
Can I get some information off of it? I'm not saying I'm taking it or anything. Just gonna get some information off. Unloaded and everything.
Yep.
All right. How long have you had this? Okay. So you've been hunting coyotes then and stuff for at least 2 years then?
I don't know.
Okay.
For a couple
Yeah.
of years.
Okay. It's registered to you and all that good stuff. Like I said, there's nothing in the chamber right now?
No, there's nothing.
Okay. I'll get some information off of it. Like I said, then I'll come bring it back to you. I'll talk with my partner here. Like I said, I'm not taking it or anything because you called. You did the right thing by self-reporting. But I guess ultimately, it's kind of a when most people are going to see a deer and a fox and you put them side by side, there's quite a
yeah.
So I want to make sure you're like, man, I got my deer tags to fill. There's a nice deer, and then you shot a deer, and it wasn't anything crazy like that. It was okay.
Michigan Conservation Officer Josh Russell has encountered an ORV that was operating on a trail that was closed. Upon making contact with the vehicle's occupants, CO Russell smelled alcohol and saw empty beer cans in the back of the vehicle.
You're going to do a few tests to make sure you're not, over the legal limit and you're able to drive this machine. Feel comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll let you step to the front of the machine here. Do me a favor and take your glasses off. Okay. All right, so first test I'm going to do is going to be testing your eyes, all right? So do me a favor, feet together, hands to your side. Go and put that cigarette down if you would.
Ashtray. We have an ashtray, we don't litter.
Well, thank you for that. Watch the tip of my finger, all right? Just follow your eyes only, all right? Eyes only. You're gonna take 9 heel-to-toe steps, right? So we're gonna be 1, 2, 3, etc. till you get to 9, right? Then you're gonna take small steps to turn around. Then you're gonna walk back 10, 11, 12, and so forth until you hit 18. Okay? Does that make sense? Those instructions. You do understand those instructions?
Yep. Go
okay.
back 9, come back to 18.
Yep. Exactly. So go ahead and get back in the start position. And when you're ready to begin, go ahead and begin.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000.
Keep looking up. Yep. Keep going. Keep going.
7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000.
Keep going.
11, 1,000, 12, 1,000, 13, 1,000.
All right, ready? Go ahead. Okay. Well, it's saying zeros. I don't know how you've had 2 to 4 beers and you're not blowing anything, but that's good for you, right?
That's over a matter of time. We've been, yeah.
So you probably haven't drank while you've been driving then?
No.
Okay, so you probably. Well,
no, we stopped at.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I'm just verifying everything. All right. So, well, that's good because I didn't want to have to haul you to jail tonight, anyways, right?
Oh, I appreciate that.
After conducting several tests, Officer Russell determines that the driver of the ORV is not too impaired to drive. but he does issue her a citation. In this case, for operating an ORV in a prohibited area, this woman was found responsible and paid a court-ordered fine of $240.
This whole area here is off limits to ORVs. It's actually the Gladwin Field Trial area. It's actually a state game area, so there's no ORVs allowed at all unless it's plated, which your vehicle is not plated, right? So we got that issue with this as well. So we're just gonna go check out the campground and buzz back home, or what was the game plan today? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I have friends that just bought property up here on Dutcher Road.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, do you know what's back here? So I was just taking them for a ride to show them, and they turned around, went back, and I was just like, well, let's just go see the rest of it.
Yep. Unfortunately, from Chapel Dam, that gate there, this whole section's all off limits to ORVs. And
I'm gonna help her pay it.
There you go. She took you for the ride, right?
Exactly.
It's only nice of you
Damn
to
it
do so.
all to hell.
We had no idea
We should have cleaned the she shed.
I know.
We were gonna clean the she shed.
Approximately 6 months before conducting this patrol for ORVs, Michigan Conservation Officer Josh Russell was working a deer case with Officer Mike Haas. They are investigating a case where a man self-reported that he shot a deer after dark while hunting for coyotes and foxes. The hunter says that he mistook the buck for a fox.
You need to know what your target is, period, right? Like, and you're supposed to know what's in front of your target, behind your target, and not like you shoot and then you walk up on it and realize you just shot the neighbor's dog, or the kid was in a Halloween costume.
After interviewing the man at his home, Officers Haas and Russell head to the hunting property to take a look at the deer and chat with the landowner who was also hunting in the woods when the deer was shot.
So you knew it was a deer right away when you saw it come out?
I did, yeah, I was over there. And then when I heard the gunshot, that was the only heat in the field I seen in the thermal, obviously. So I'm like, but I have another cornfield blocking me, so if there's something that popped out here, I'm not going to see it in the thermal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, maybe.
Because you can't see that corner.
Right.
Okay.
So then I turned the call down, and I turned on pup distress, I think, for a couple minutes, and then I turned the call off, and I yelled over. I was like, well, what'd you get? And he goes, I shot a fox.
So was he pretty animate right away about like, oh shoot, what do we do? Do I need to call this, or like what happened?
It was an in-shock moment for everybody. I'm honest, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told him, you know, and I looked at, I said, well, I said, you know, it's a pickle. I said, it's got to get, you know what I mean? You need to make a phone call, because I said, I've got too much on the line, and, you know, and I said, it's not worth it over a deer. These things happen. People make mistakes. You got to own it. You pulled the trigger, you got to own it. You know, you know, and I don't have to preach to you, you got to identify your target at night, you know, before you pull the trigger. Nobody needs to tell you that.
Sounds like the same stuff we told him today then, so yeah.
Vision and thermal, there's no reason.
I can see if you're just using the light with no eyeballs, but, you know, you got a transfrontal scope. So.
Yep. So this, I mean,
I see the deer butt, I think.
Yeah, he's within one of these two rows.
Yeah, I see him right there, I think.
Yep.
That's my thing with the fox and a deer. Their body composition is so different. Like, how do you, with the neck and everything? I mean, nothing about this looks like a fox.
Nothing.
I mean,
I think he just got excited, but again, when you're going to shoot something, you need to know what you're shooting. I don't think he's going to come to your house and then shoot a deer in front of everybody.
Especially not,
right. But I don't think there was criminal intent. But that's a pretty bad mistake to make. You see that neck and the head is very distinct compared to a fox. So that's a big fox. No, and like I said, he's wrong. I think he made an honest mistake, but it's just. Again, I don't think he'd shoot a deer on someone else's property in front of, you know, and so yeah, I think it was just he just got excited, and for the principle of the matter, I don't feel very good about it, because that's a bad mistake to make, to shoot something, whether it's a deer, a skunk, or whatever. You need to know what you're shooting. That's like the one thing you should know from hunter safety class. Like, if you sleep through the whole class, at least know what the heck you're going to shoot. Yeah.
In this case, after conducting follow-up interviews with other members of the hunting party who all supported the story of the hunter, and also determining that all of these hunters had clean criminal histories, Officers Haas and Russell decided not to pursue charges against this hunter. A significant factor in making this determination was that the hunter self-reported his mistake and did not try to hide it or cover it up. The DNR Law Enforcement Division encourages individuals to self-report issues that arise so that they can be addressed quickly and with the least amount of hassle. Although no citations were written or charges pursued, Officers Haas and Russell did issue warnings, and they also revisited with the hunter to reiterate the importance of always positively identifying his target prior to pulling the trigger.
Even if all you see is the thermal or the blob, a deer looks nothing like a fox. So the long neck on a deer, like I said, it is what it is. He just made it, I think that's what it comes down to. He made a bad mistake. Like I said, that's why I'm hung up on. The principle of the matter is it's I don't care if it was just a deer or, you know, a chipmunk or a squirrel, it's still a bullet. It's a live bullet, and you send it down range, and you better know what you're shooting.
The following is an Outdoor Channel original production.
This week on Wardens, conservation officers in District 1 investigate a case where they suspect a logger who won a bid to cut trees on state land harvested more timber than he should have.
At this point, you're prohibited from doing any more cutting on this job.
Also, a look at a historic state park that was once a military fort and now features actors role-playing some of the people who were there in the 1800s.
The fort basically serves as a stage for our interpretive staff to do the social history of the fort.
Wild animals and wild places. They're more than a picture. They're inspiration, excitement, and adventure. Patrolling and protecting these natural resources is a first-class band of peace officers. These are the Wardens, dedicated to the preservation of our great outdoors. Michigan conservation officers protect the resources of the state. In that role, they are frequently seen monitoring hunters and anglers who are targeting a wide assortment of game and species of fish. The overwhelming majority of their interactions with the public do not result in citations being issued. However, animals are not the full extent of everything that they're authorized to protect. In the state's District 1, Officer Brett DeLong is one of a large team of officers who are gathered to begin a day that many of them have been anticipating for quite some time.
Our hopes are today go there, search the residence, and then search the logging site to attempt to find any of the paint that he has that have marked the trees after the fact.
They intend to execute search warrants in a case where they suspect a logger has cut trees on state land illegally. CO DeLong has been working this case for more than a year.
We've been on this for a year and a half, for quite some time. Special thanks to the Special Investigations Unit and the foresters because they've all put a lot of time and effort into it. But essentially what we have is the Forest Division had some suspicions on over-harvesting off their contracts, and we got together to go out and identify trees that were of high value and a cut that were supposed to be left.
About 6 to 7 years ago, the same contractor had a different timber sale with this department, and in inspecting that at different times, I noticed different paint color. Well, it was orange paint, but different shade of orange, and it was different markings on the stump than I put on there. And with marking that sale myself, I know how I marked it, and it ended up different. And then after they cut it, it was much more open than what my residual basal area was destined to be when I originally marked it.
What we did, went out there, we threw in screws, and we did different documentations of the trees, and overall we documented a little over 63-ish trees out there that were of high value. After the foresters did their marking out there, we did a site visit and noticed that more trees were marked, and then on top of that, several of our trees that we had identified that were supposed to be left were marked after the fact.
In our hardwood stands, we slowly every 15 to 20 years we go in and mark some. We mark the mature trees, we mark the poor quality, low vigor, and the trees that we don't determine will make it another 10 to 15 years until our next entry into the stand. So we're always trying to improve the quality and at the same time open up some areas to allow new regeneration to occur in the stand, so you perpetually have a stand with young trees and then mature trees all at the same time, so it provides many values to wildlife and also the timber industry.
You guys don't know, this is next to a Kearney Fen natural area, so it's a buffer zone, or this is meant to be a buffer zone here. So it's a higher state or higher regulations on the particular cut. So it's just supposed to be a thinning. As you see when you get out there, it's more or less of a clear cut just about. Once you get our attention on a topic, especially when it's something to this effect that affects both our natural resources here and as well as people's livelihood and other logging companies, it is not going to go away, and we will do what it takes to get the right people and as many people as we need to make that come together and bring it to court and get those people charged appropriately.
Hopefully we'll find some good evidence today and be able to take this to court. And thank you all for being here and doing this.
Michigan Conservation Officer Brett DeLong is one of several officers utilizing search warrants to look for a logger who they believe has illegally harvested trees on state land. The man won a bid to cut trees from the state. However, the COs suspect that he's marked and cut trees beyond what the state intended.
We're looking at hopefully finding the paint that he's been marking the trees, that we have paint samples that hopefully we can get that paint and match it, and also get a hold of the receipts for his logs that he's brought to different mills.
When the state of Michigan awards bids to logging companies to cut trees that are property of the state on state land, they mark the trees with paint or some other distinct marking. The officers believe that this suspect has gotten his own spray can and marked additional trees.
After he made contractor, or won the contract with the state, our foresters went in, marked the trees that were supposed to be cut during the sale, and then that's it. After he secured that contract, went back in, marked more trees so that he could get his money back, because he overbid by roughly $40,000 than what the next competitor was.
For the average person taking a hike through the woods, they may not be able to tell the difference of how trees are marked. But for those who work in this industry and are experts in forestry, it's sometimes obvious when something questionable is occurring.
Shortly after the contractor got it, we went out there and started our efforts to track and document trees that weren't marked. And through that, our first timber sale inspection, when the contractor got started on the sale, I noticed right away that there was more paint out there than I did. It was different directions, different style of marking. I could tell, within the first 50 feet of walking in the stand that it wasn't what I'd left it as.
With his primary suspect not at the job site, CO DeLong heads to the suspect's residence, which is also his place of business. Officers Mark Liedman and Jeff Dell stay at the job site to investigate the scene.
There's a loaded handgun in there, inside of his lunchbox. Well, he says it's loaded. We haven't checked the chamber yet, but we want to photograph it before we remove it.
COs Liedman and Dell find a handgun and cans of spray paint in one of the construction vehicles.
Can I open my lunchbox? Take your lunchbox. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes.
In addition to cutting more trees than the contract stipulated, the type of extra trees that have been cut are not ones that forestry experts would have chosen, even if they wanted more of them cut.
It may have a permanent impact. I mean, not only did he take out the high value trees, the ones that we left to put on some more growth to become better value, and he left us all the crappy trees that have no monetary value. They're just not good quality timber value in them. They offer other benefits, maybe some benefits to wildlife, but no timber value left in the crap trees that he left us.
Because of the extensive damage done to this forest, it will likely take much longer than it should for the area to recover.
That was marked 20 years ago, and it filled in to get back to what looks like behind you. So, that was cut under our normal practices. This will probably take decades to recover, and maybe never recover from. We might end up with a lot of poor quality branched out hardwood trees as a result of this, because there's too much sunlight in there.
Fort Wilkins Historic Park in the Keweenaw Peninsula in Michigan's Upper Peninsula strives to take visitors back in time to a different era in the history of the United States. The park features interpreters who role-play assorted characters that are based on real-life people.
The fort basically serves as a stage for our interpretive staff to do the social history of the fort. So we interpret the lower class through our laundress and our private, middle class through our quartermaster sergeant role, and the upper class through an officer's wife or our lieutenant.
Each of the costumed role players strive to use the language of the period and convey the job, life, and experience of the characters they're portraying.
Up here, you're just so far out of it, There's nothing to be guarding up here. You barely feel like a soldier most of the time. I mean, I end up with a broom more than I do with a rifle. So it can take some of the glory out of it, and you end up just sitting around getting bored. There's plenty of drinking and gambling here. It's not permitted, mind you, but it doesn't mean it don't happen. You know, you have a bunch of men sitting around during the winter and you lose track of things to do.
Hello, I'm Kate Holmes. It's nice to meet you. I work as one of the post laundresses, and then I'm married to Private Homes, a company K. I'm just doing some of the washing today. You know, I've got my new scrub bucket, so I got soap in here, and I got my washboard, you know, for doing the scrubbing on, and then I got the rinse bucket.
I am also responsible for special drilling of the troops. That would be sometimes the enlisted men find themselves falling behind in their drill. And when that happens, I step in and I take them aside for an hour or two of special instruction when their regular duties permit, so that they do not hold up the company when we do a full company drill on the parade ground.
Fort Wilkins was built in response to the copper rush, built in 1844, basically as a police action to keep an eye on the miners and to make sure that there was no conflict between the local Ojibwe tribe and the miners and explorers that were coming up here.
The actors at Fort Wilkins come from various backgrounds and have different reasons for being passionate about educating the public through role-playing.
The sort of change over time is what really interests me about history. What has changed, what hasn't. So being able to talk to people about that sort of thing, like this is how we do it, and then of course I can't say, well, this is very different from how we do it now, but it's implied in that sort of exchange.
I've always been interested in history. I used to go to Civil War reenactments and take part in that. And what I like about working as an interpreter is you get to include people in something you're passionate about, because they begin to feel like they're a part of the story, or feel like they're a part of the site. You know, they walk in, and I've had people be like, oh, we're walking back in time. You know, it's always interesting because some people tell me, oh, you've been sent forward in time, yet you're walking around all the period buildings. I would argue that it's the other way around.
A lot of just learning how to engage with people, and different kinds of people have different expectations coming into the fort, and I guess what my purpose is. You know, some people are more interested in watching me do the laundry or asking questions or just tell me your life story.
I recently graduated from Albion College.
I am an education major. I go to Northern Michigan University over in Marquette.
There's a program called the Future Historians that does a similar first-person reenacting here at the fort. So I was a part of that group for, I think, 9 years. It's, you know, you do every month there's a local history meeting, and then in the summer there's several different 3-day workshops, which is up here, you know, in costume. So I did that for, 9 years. And so the whole time I was doing that, I was like, I want to be one of the adult role players. I want to be one of the adult role players. And well, here I am.
The effort to create a living history is a passion for everyone involved at Fort Wilkins Historic State Park, and is generally well received by the approximately 150,000 visitors that the park has each year.
The best groups I have come in are parents and their children, and the parents prompt them to ask questions, and then the kids almost think that it's absolutely real, and they approach it as such. And I think that that's definitely a special experience that interpretation allows you to have with people.
Michigan Conservation Officer Brett DeLong is one of several officers investigating a suspect who they believe is cutting more trees than he is allowed after winning a bid to harvest timber on state land. The officers in the DNR's Law Division, as well as state experts from the Forest Resources Division, were leery of this lumber contract from the get-go because the bid was significantly higher than other bids for this job. CO DeLong began his work on this day by going to the job site where he guessed the primary suspect would be. After not finding him there, he went to the suspect's home. He didn't find the suspect there either, but did find an acquaintance of the primary suspect. He also found some evidence for which he was looking.
We're actually leaving the suspect's residence to go to the job site. Just found he's going to make contact with him. He's going to be there shortly. A quick look at the residence, and one of the vehicles there actually identified a few of the items that we're looking for that he used to do the marking on the timber marking. And as in the picture here, I identify that the board and a backpack and gloves with the orange paint on them looked like they appeared to be in the vehicle back there. We haven't had to open it up to search it yet, but a quick view shows that it's there.
When he arrives back at the job site, Officer DeLong finds Sergeant Ryan Aho and other members of the DNR's Law Enforcement Division talking to the primary suspect.
Once we figure this out, we get some and the foresters do their job, they figure out what's going on, then it's going to be, people way above my pay grade that are going to make a decision as to how to handle it. So, but at this point, you're prohibited from doing any more cutting on this job.
Sergeant Ryan Aho and Officers Brett DeLong, Mark Liebman, and Jeff Dell, as well as many other members of both the DNR's Law Enforcement Division and Forestry Resources Division, are working a case where they suspect the logger has overcut a forest of state land for which he won a bid to cut trees. While searching for evidence at both the job site and the place of business, the team of investigators has found some evidence for which they were looking. Eventually, they also find the lead suspect. Some members of the team talk with him about what they're doing on this particular day and give him the paperwork involved with the case.
Things on my end are tough. I got a back situation going on right now that I got an implant in my back. And, things are not very good.
Yeah, well, no, I can sympathize with that, and that's like I said, that's
warrant on marking too many trees. I mean,
Yep. Like I
but
said, it's not.
Try, it doesn't warrant anything, but I put the roads in here better than what they usually could be.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, like I said, it's not like you.
Not to say that if I did take some trees or whatever that warrants that, but I tried to make up for it to make sure the quality of the road system and everything is put in.
For sure.
A lot better output.
Okay. Well, like I said, I appreciate
this part right here. I got about $5,000 stuck into this part already.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The logger shares with the officers that he has been dealing with an injury and that he feels that he has helped to improve the condition of the roads that he and his logging crew have been utilizing on the job site.
Like you say, it just comes down to economics, and everybody's got to, you got to put food on your table, pay your guys, and put them in the rig. So, well, very good, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Upon concluding the searches of the job site and place of business on this day, the investigating team returns to a local DNR office.
Excellent work by everybody. I kind of went like clockwork right up until we were ready to make contact and found out he wasn't where we thought he was going to be. But we made the best of it and it all worked out in the long run. So nice work by everybody from our side of things. Mark and Jeff did a great job being methodical, going through everything. I think everything is documented very well. Looking at what Shannon has there.
I would have to add, Shannon and Jason did a great job.
I'm glad that we were able to see all the pieces of the puzzle finally come together after a long wait. It's a relief. Things went much smoother than I kind of anticipated. Going into this whole situation today, I kind of expected more kickback or more just a kickback from our suspect and everybody involved in that. But other than that, it almost went too good to be true. But no, I'm glad we finally got it wrapped up. I know our Forest Resource Division are very pleased and happy with what we've done and helped them out.
I want to thank everybody for helping with this effort. That for the last 6-7 years, this contractor has had a number of sales where I've assumed and I thought that extra trees were being harvested that were not part of the original timber sale, and with the culmination of today, that there is proof that I knew what I was talking about, and that it was actually occurring with this contractor. So it is nice to finally put an end to it.
The result of this day is the culmination of a huge team effort by many employees of Michigan's DNR. It's a fine example of different divisions working together for the betterment of the state's residents, visitors, and resources. Some had been suspicious for a long time of what was happening to the state's natural resources.
It was a good team effort. For everybody to be, it seemed like it was almost overkill. Some people may look at it that way, but as we discussed in our debriefing, it really wasn't. To be able to have that many people at each location was key. And today, because we showed up, our suspect wasn't there, we were able to touch base with each other and be on scene when he arrived, and kind of not even allow him to make contact with any other suspects or anybody else to maybe get rid of the evidence.
What I was seeing, and over the course of those years, was I actually was seeing that, and that it was nice to actually get proof now. And it was with the help of the LED conservation officers that we could put something together to actually verify that it was occurring.
In this case, for illegally cutting and removing timber from state land, this man was court-ordered to pay the state of Michigan $119,529.40 in restitution. He also received 3 years of probation and a suspended jail sentence of 6 months. Furthermore, he is barred from bidding on any future DNR logging contracts.
A lot of people do have the thought that if we just don't tell the conservation officer something, they kind of go away. That's not the case. A little word to those out there that think that we don't give up. Things don't go away. It may seem like they do go away, but it's probably just we're looking at gathering more evidence, and we're probably watching you, and you just don't know it. It's just a matter of getting as much evidence as we can to finally put the final nail in the coffin, so to speak.